Hello friends, welcome back to Input Output Campus. So today in this video we'll discuss another coding questions to calculate the time complexity of a program. Okay, so suppose there is a function. Suppose the name of the function is algorithm. So this is the name of the function. Okay, and inside this function there is a for loop for I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. So inside this for loop there is another for loop. So for suppose j equals to 0 and j less than n, no, j less than I. So if we write here j less than I and then j plus plus, and then inside this for loop there is a statement. Suppose there is a print statement, okay, and you want to print something. Okay, so you want to print something inside this for loop. So in the previous video you have learned how to calculate the time complexity if there is a for loop, and inside this for loop if I equals to 0 and I less than n, and then I increase by 1 unit every time. But here it is different. Here j equals to 0, j less than I. In the previous video we have learned if j less than n, okay, and j increases by 1 unit, this is okay, but there is a change, little change, that is j less than I. So if j less than I, then what will be the time taken for this for loop? So you know this for loop, this outer for loop will take n plus 1 unit of time, and for this n plus 1 unit of time, the inner for loop was taking n unit of time, but here the condition is different, so this will not take n unit of time. So let's see if it takes n unit of time or not. So how you can check this? So we have to check it manually. So for every I value, the number of times this inner for loop is called or execute will calculate that. Okay, so how many number of times? So here initially our I value is 0. So for I equals to 0, we'll check if I is less than n. If this is satisfied, then we'll go inside this for loop. Okay, so for I equals to 0, this for loop will execute for. So we'll check here if I equals to 0 here. So here j equals to 0. So 0 is less than 0. No, this condition is false. So for I equals to 0, the inner for loop will not iterate. So this will execute 0 times. That is, the inner for loop will execute for 0 times. Okay, so let's increase I by 1. So if I equals to 1, then this for loop will execute for 1 times. Why? Here you can say I equals to 1. Here j value is 0. So initial j value is 0. So 0 is less than 1. So this condition is satisfied. So for this condition, this for loop will execute. This statement will execute. Okay. Similarly, for I equals to 2, the inner for loop will iterate for 2 times and this statement will execute for 2 times. Similarly, for I equals to 3, the inner for loop will execute for 3 times. Okay. So for I equals to n minus 1, so I equals to n minus 1, the inner for loop will execute for n minus 1 times, and for I equals to n, this condition will be false and the inner for loop will not execute. Okay, so let's remove this. So you can see how many number of times the inner for loop will execute from 0 to n minus 1. So suppose let's say this is 1 and this is n. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 n. So for this series, the total will be n into n plus 1 divided by 2. That is n square plus n divided by 2. So if you sum of all these time unit, then the maximum will be the time complexity of this program. So the maximum is n square divided by 2. This is the maximum because the power of n here is 2, which is maximum here. So n square divided by 2. So these 2 will be removed and this will be the time complexity of this program. So order of n square. Okay, so this will be the time complexity of this program. So in this way, you can easily calculate the time complexity of any program. So hope you understand this, and if you find this video helpful, then please like the video and share this video with your friends. And if you are new to this channel, then please subscribe to this channel. So thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video. Till then, take care.